Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're going to do a oil change here in the Freightliner. It's the 14-liter Detroit S60, and I'm going to show you what you need to do it. So this truck takes 11 gallons of oil. So I bought 12 gallons of the 15W40 Rotella. You can get this at Walmart or places like that for pretty cheap, for $15 or less a gallon. 2 oil filters here. I just picked these up from the dealership. I think they were 15 or 20 bucks a piece. And then you're going to need this to tighten them with. And make sure you get the right size because these are pretty big. I got a couple different ones of those. I also got, I think this is a 3/4 ratchet here. This is going to take the drain plug out of the bottom, the oil pan. A rag. Cardboard just in case any of it drips, gloves, and then these pans here to catch the old oil. And these are important because these will slide under the truck, for one, and then number two, they're actually portable. You can actually lift these and take them to dispose of the oil, or you can even pour the old oil back in these once they're empty over this cardboard with a funnel. So that's a couple ways you can do that. So now we got all of our stuff. We're going to go ahead and get started draining the oil, taking the filters off, getting ready to put the new stuff on. Alright, so here we go. Okay, so my filters, see that little white tip there? Are right there. See? Both right next to each other, really inconvenient. I think the best way to get to them is to turn the steering wheel. I know a lot of places like to do that also. So turn the steering wheel to the right, give you some extra room in here. So I'm going to go start the truck, turn the steering wheel to the right, and then cut it right off. You don't want the truck getting warm because you're about to change the oil. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, now we're going to hop under there, we're going to drain that old oil out, and then we're going to start working on those filters, or vice versa. I guess it doesn't matter so much. Okay, so another little tip here, before you drain your oil, is to open up your fill valve here to let some air in, and it'll let the oil drain properly, quickly, you know. Also, you might see my zip tie over here on my pull lever. Every time I do a change, I put fresh zip tie on there. I guess I could probably just slide this one on and off if it's not too difficult. But I use that because these, when they get old, they never really seal right. And you'll notice that oil will be starting to cover your glass bowl here. And it's because it's just dripping out of here, basically, when pressure gets high. And it's coming out of that seal up there or whatever. And it just kind of flings onto here and all this stuff. So that's just something I do now. I just put a zip tie on it and just keep it from opening up and letting the oil drip all over my components here. It makes it just look bad. So with this here, just gonna loosen that up. Okay, see that there. You got to be careful not to spin it too much, because if it gets to the end you think it's still not letting go, it's actually loose. It's just you spun it too far. So just something to think about there. Just kind of let that hang out there. I'm gonna get some gloves, get under the truck, and start draining this oil. Okay. You'll see on your pan you got a couple of these different ones here. The one you need is just the one directly underneath. So I got my pan set up here. And this will just basically pop in. Like that. Now, getting pretty close there to getting that out. It's already broken loose. Now when this starts getting a little further, I'm going to have to hold that plug there with my gloves and pop it back in when it fills this tub up, because you know, 10 or 11 is going to come out of there, and this is made for 5, so I'm going to do that now. When I fill this one up, I'm going to shove it out of the way and do the same thing with the next one, and then we'll be good to go. Gotta let it catch up now. So that's basically what I meant. That's why I recommend gloves. This gets a little more full, or when it drains back down in there a little more, I will let some more go. See that little valve over there? I need to open that so it'll go in the tub faster. See, I opened it up, and now it's taking the oil much quicker. See it going back down. So this is a little game I'm going to play until this is full. Okay, so pretty much the oil's out. It's just kind of slow trickling. I'm just letting it do that. I'm going to go change these filters now. See where we turn the wheel, so now we can have a good area to work in. Now my filters there, I got to take those off. And this tool here was actually the wrong one. That was actually made for this. So I went back in my bunk and I got the proper one. It's the slightly smaller one. So this one will do the job. So now, got to take these old filters out. So I'm going to squeeze in here. Yeah. All right. And there's the filters. And basically, you're going to have to figure out which way is counterclockwise. So I think when I screwed them in like this to the right from underneath, maybe. I'm going to have to play a guessing game here. So I think if I turn them this way, I'd be locking them. So I think I actually need to go that way. I'm going to figure that out. It's been a minute. So I'm going to do that and I'll come back and let you know. Okay. So I just got one of them out of there. So it is right is tight, left is loose. I had them on there pretty good. So don't do what I did. My first couple I was paranoid. I left them on there real tight. So that was fun taking that off. It's also really messy down here, so make sure you're not wearing anything you like. I just got to take this other one off. If for some reason you do forget, some of these oil filters tell you, yeah, like see right there, right, and then right again. We're also gonna, before we put these new ones on, you gotta fill them up with some oil. And the seal on the top, you don't want to leave it dry, so just kind of glaze some oil on there. But I'm gonna take that one off, and then we can start screwing the new ones on. Cool. Okay. Try and get my camera to light up a little bit here. This last filter is ready to come out. Now, you definitely want to wear gloves. Unfortunately, I got to use my nicer gloves. I ran out of my disposables because these filters leak when they're loose. You see that? So it's just going to get worse. I got an oil tub down there. Hopefully it'll catch this filter when it drops. It's the real messy part. If I didn't stop to record, it wouldn't be so oily right now. I could turn it a little faster, but I wanted to show you guys how this kind of works. Now, if you're a company driver, you probably don't need to know any of this. Probably don't care, because it's not your problem, right? But for you owner-operators, or maybe some of you company guys that just need to do something on the side of the road and you don't want to wait for, you know, Blow Joe at TA to come get you and work on your truck 12 or 13 hours later. My hand is just sliding way too much. Might have to just pause this video because it's getting little small turns. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and pop it out real quick. Okay, we're going to put our new filters in one at a time. See that? They're fresh. So you're going to take some of your fresh oil and you're going to fill it up. Now you notice the oil will seep back in there because the filter is absorbing it. So you might have to add just a tiny bit more. But it'll keep sucking down a lot of oil, so instead of playing around with that, I just go ahead and pop it in. But make sure to get this seal up here because it's dry. You don't want to put a dry seal on, you know, cause it to tear and stuff. So just kind of put some oil around there. And now I'm just going to go screw this in and tighten it down and then put the next one in. Okay, so now I'm under the truck here. For this part, I recommend you kind of lay on your back and scoot under it. And I just lifted this one up and turned it to the right like that and got it going. It's not tight or anything, but I'm going to pop out. I'm going to fill the next one up, get it going too, and then together I'll tighten them down best I can from under here. All right. Okay, so this is our second filter, exactly the same as the first. Just going to fill it up. There we go. Get this seal going, same as before. Add a little bit of extra oil. Be surprised if you try to fill these up. They suck in a lot of oil because it goes in the filter and then it comes out further through the wall here. But don't worry about that so much. Just make sure you got some oil in it. Okay, so I just tightened them from underneath my hand and a little bit with the tool here. So now I'm going to take my tool from up here and tighten them up top because I can get a better grip. Make sure they're nice and snug. And then I'll go and make sure to put that plug back in the oil pan there and tighten that up. And then we're going to move on to putting the oil in. Okay, so we just got the drain plug filled. We got the oil filters on. They're full of oil. They're nice and snug. So now we just need to add some Rotella in. So I'm going to add all these gallons of oil in there. And we should be ready to just fire it up, let it idle out, and good to go. Okay, so we got all the oil in here. I didn't have a funnel, so I spilled a little bit down there. Don't worry about that. I recommend you, power wash a little bit around there, clean up your motor. But we're ready to start the truck, and after I start the truck, I'm going to let it warm up. I'm going to check for leaks, make sure everything looks good, and then it's just the truck part is done. We'll just have to dispose of the oil. So I'm going to get on that now. Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I'm back here at home. I got all cleaned up. I just disposed of the oil. There's a couple ways you can do that. For one, if your trucking company you work for has a shop, they probably have a spot where they can dump oil and they take care of it on their own. If you don't, those bins that I used in the videos, since they're easy to carry around, you could put them in the trunk of a car. You could take them down to AutoZone or O'Reilly's, and most of those places will let you dump off 5 gallons per person. So you can do it that way. That's another way you can do it. Luckily, where I work, they have a oil recycle bin that they take care of there. So now I'm sure some of you watched this video and you're probably thinking that it might not be worth it. That's really up to you. The first oil change I did, when you get a PM done, it's normally between $250, $300, sometimes a little over $300. after you get your tools and everything, everything you need, those tools are going to be with you forever. So maybe your first PM, you won't really make any money off of doing it yourself, but every PM after that you do it, you will gain at least $100 in savings doing your own PM. So I don't know, some people that's not worth it to them, but to me, saving $100, I will do it myself. And it's not just about the $100. And here's why. When you go to these shops, they fill your truck up, and they don't really count an exact quart. They just fill your truck up with the oil until the dipstick reads normal. So you're probably getting short a gallon or two of oil because they're just going to pump it out of a drum because they buy it in bulk. Now, that's my main reason I like to do my oil on my own, because I know that my truck is getting the full recommended amount of oil that the dealership recommends. So I know that it's getting done right, it's getting the proper amount of oil, and I get to save some money. It is a messy job. You're going to have to come home and clean up, and take care of the oil and everything. But if you don't mind doing that, it's a good way to save money and know that your truck was being maintained properly. So for all you people out there who have semis and you're just curious, I hope this was helpful. You should check out some of my other videos. Every time I have to do repair, I decided I'm going to start recording it because I do a lot of repairs on different things, for friends or at work or at home or whatever. So, I'm pretty handy, so I'm going to start recording my videos, posting them online. Why not? So, if you liked it, please like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. When you subscribe, it helps me out. Makes me feel like I'm not making my videos for nothing. So, that's great, guys. So, again, thank you for watching, and I hope your oil change went successfully, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.